I love going to the community markets, buying fresh produce and catching up with friends for coffee. Every month I go to the Kurri farmers markets, and this is where I met Nana. I call her Nana because she symbolises everything a Nana should be. Her real name is Audrey, and she bakes the best scones and grandma pie you'll ever taste. Over the years, Audrey has shared many of her entertaining stories from her 85 years of life. She's a real character. Her son Anton dutifully helps his mum on market day. These days, real characters are hard to find. Have they disappeared in the fear of today's accountability and pretense? Sadly, in today's society, our great characters aren't given the recognition and time. Everyone has a story. If you just slow down, give people respect and listen, you will be rewarded.
A shelter from the storm. It exists to give you comfort. It's there to keep you warm.
Setting up, we arrive at the site. I unload the car, I erect the gazebo with Mum, I set up the tables and chairs, I put the pies on the table, I put the scones, the shelving needed for the scones, I do that also, rum balls, Anzac biscuits, it's all catered for.
All that cooking, that must take you quite a long time to...
It does, it takes... You can't cook scones days before. It's got to be the last thing you do. And I prepared them the evening before, and I'm flat out because I cooked quite a few.
I've heard you've done some fantastic community work. How did you get started with this?
Now, how I got involved with the Kurri community carers, I was telling this woman how lonely and isolated I felt when I moved into Kurri. And she had the idea of doing something for people that come to this town as strangers. So this is how the community carers was formed. 1999, I won the Citizen of the Year, and that involved a big area around here, Cessnock, right over nearly to Maitland, up nearly to Singleton, and I was very surprised because there was quite a few nominated.
Audrey, despite being kept busy with your 9 children, you've always had the love and time to devote to Anton, your youngest child.
He sang as a young child, so I concentrated on him, and he was taught drama, singing, speech, and I got a great lot of happiness by going to a Stedfords with him. He won several first places in a Stedfords, the Sydney Opera House, and all over the place.
I was in the Sydney Opera House and Bankstown of Stedford.
Yeah, and what was it like at the performing at the Sydney Opera House?
Sydney Opera House, it was a very good experience.
Do you remember any of the words from that now, or that's all long forgotten?
I'm a policeman marching on my beat, shiny helmet and tremendous feet. Don't you envy me, it's simply grand when I stop 10 motor cars with just one hand. Anyway, something like that.
His grades were very good. His teachers thought he would be one of the best in the family of de Greys, but unfortunately it wasn't to be. As he grew older, towards 15, his marks went back a bit, and nobody could understand it. He was a good boy, he was home every night and trying to do his homework.
Audrey, can you take us back to when you first realised something wasn't right with Anton?
and I heard Anton's voice, and I knew something terrible was wrong. And I said, "What's wrong, son?" He said, "Mum, I'm getting on the train. I've got to come home." And I said, "All right, are you sick?" He said, "Yes." And I said, "Chris, something terrible's happened to Anton." I said, "We've got to meet him at the Maitland station." So Chris was there in 15 minutes, and we went over, and he was a sad sight. I was shocked when I saw him. He looked so devastated, and you could see it was nothing I had known before, schizophrenia. I didn't even know then.
With schizophrenia, you imagine things at times, and I thought someone was going to harm me or something like that.
What was in your life at that time?
I used to go to Tech to do carpentry and joinery. I had a construction job down in Parramatta. I'd travel very early in the morning by train up to Hamilton and Newcastle to Tyres Hill Tech, and I reckon that took a lot out of me physically, and I think I had a little bit too much on my plate at the time.
Can you tell me what you were feeling and what you were going through?
There were times in my life I'd come home to see Mum, but there was something wrong with me. You know, I couldn't sort of, be, comfortable,
Yep.
around with my own home surroundings.
Anton, the way you manage your illness is a real credit to you. You've had some real tough times in the past, which you've obviously overcome.
Well, the medication that got me on now I'm very happy with. Mum said, "Son, it took a while to get you on the correct tablets. But now I've accepted it. I take my medication."
And how do you get along with Audrey?
We have a good laugh after the markets. We can have kick our heels up and have a couple of
Put a patch on.
we can have a couple of beers, something to drink.
You and your mum seem so close. Where would you be without her?
Where would I be? I need Mum in my life as a guardian, someone I can look up to.
There is such a special bond between these two. A mother's unconditional love and a son's faith and trust in his mother has been the catalyst to conquer such a disabling illness.
Perhaps love is like a resting place, a shelter from the storm. It exists to give you comfort, it's there to keep you warm. And in those times of trouble, when you are most alone, the memory of love